I'm here at USA Track and Field Junior Olympics 2011, and I'm sitting here with former track and field great, um, Miss Tisha Wiggins, but back then you were known as.
Tisha Prather.
What was your specialty when you were running?
I was a sprinter, 100, 200 relays.
What school did you go to?
I went to Sequoia High School.
Right here locally, fairly locally.
Yes, in Doraville, Georgia. Competed for DC Express and then on to college at the University of Tennessee.
Wow. Who were your teammates at Tennessee?
Well, let's see, Patricia Leroy, or Patricia Boykin now, Sean Moore, Tisha DeShields, Mallory Ivy, Jasmine Jones, some of the distance runners back then, they were really great. But as far as sprints, it was me, Patricia, Michelle Bookman, Sue Caldwell, and her daughter actually just won the midget girls 400.
So now you have to go back and remember both maiden names and the married names of your former teammates. So how long have you been here in Atlanta?
Atlanta's home. I'm a Grady baby. So after college, I came back home. That was back in 19 something. So I've been here since then. So I live in Tucker, Georgia now.
Tucker, okay. However, you have a daughter here who's a track and field athlete. I believe this is her first year, correct? What's her specialty?
Well, Sierra, she will be in the 10th grade at Tucker High School, and we believe she's going to be a sprinter. We're trying to fill her out. She can probably do anything from the 1 to the 8. The 8 is a sprint now, and I kind of like that event, so we'll see if she's ready for that.
I know for a fact that Tucker High School has an incredible women's track program. There's a few young ladies that I met last year who were state champions. Yeah. So it's a fine school that she'll be going to participate in track and field. You've been here for the past few days for the Junior Olympics here in Georgia. What do you think about the facilities? What do you think about the weather? What do you think about the competition?
Well, first of all, this is track weather, and I'm a summer baby, so I love the heat, and I think it's perfect weather for the meet. I've never been to this facility, but it is beautiful. Not too far from the city, but it's hard to find great track and field facilities around the city.
I think generally it's just hard to find great track and facilities. A lot of them are on private campuses. And folks aren't privy to go on those particular campuses because of, they cater to their student body and their community. However, we're out here in Peachtree City at Rising Star High School? Stars Mill next door to another, Rising Star Middle School. But it's a wonderful place. We're having a wonderful time. The competition's great. What do you see the future of track and field here in Georgia?
Well, it looks bright, and I really hope that our homegrown athletes continue to strive. Georgia has always been a very competitive state, but we're surrounded by competitive states. Florida is always good, even far as to Texas. Texas high school is great. But I think our athletes here are ready for the competition, with good coaching and focused athletes. I think that Georgia could represent for a long time to come.
Georgia's definitely is one particular state, just as California and Florida, that periodically, frequently have someone on the U.S. national team and definitely on our Olympic and World Championship teams. And the good thing is since I've been back and forth to Georgia, I've been able to see a lot of the homegrown talent from 1996 when they had prior to 96, but when they had the games here in 96 up until the Sydney Olympics in 2000, Athens in 04, Beijing in 2008. And literally, I've literally seen Georgia athletes go from high school to the Olympic teams. Youngsters like Terrence Trammell, world champions like, he's a preacher now, he's a pastor now, Milton Campbell went to UNC. I literally watched those guys in high school and running for the club teams. So the talent pool of Georgia athletes is huge. And like you mentioned before, it's bright. We just got to make sure we keep them on track. And you mentioned to me earlier that, because I asked you, were you a coach? And you were really, your tongue twisted on that word because it was like, give me your explanation when I asked you, were you a coach or not?
Well, I'm not currently a coach. I do my very best to try to lend some knowledge to.
See, that's what happens. I've been asked that coaching question a few times, and it's kind of hard for me to say that I am a coach. However, you find yourself giving more advice
Exactly.
to youngsters about with your own expertise as a sprinter. So how's that been going, especially with your daughter?
Well, with my daughter, I'm always mother first. So I think for her, it's kind of hard to take seriously what information or knowledge that I have. Here lately, though, we've been seeing a lot of friends. I've taken her out to a lot of meets, and we've seen a lot of people that may have known me from back when I was competing. So she's like, okay, maybe you do know a little bit. Maybe you were good. So I think it's going good. She's young. She's going into her 10th grade year. This is about the time where I started to run. So hopefully we can get her into shape and get her going. And I intend on being at her school this upcoming season to help out a lot.
Yeah, I noticed, especially on that campus. Were they? I know they were doing a lot of construction. Were they actually putting a new track in there? I know they got a new gym, brand new track. So she's coming to a new school year, in which they have brand new facilities. So yeah, are you in touch with any of the coaches there at Tucker High School?
Yes, I am. Coach Malone is the head coach over at Tucker, and Monica Ross, I believe she has a track club, Sapphire Track Club. She also assists over at Tucker High School. But the facility is beautiful. The school is absolutely beautiful.
I see they're drawing you in slowly but surely. Yeah.
It's beautiful. The track, I mean, I've had to spike up and go out there and run on it because it's so inviting. So,
Excuse me. There's a long jumper who went to Tucker High School who's I believe a gold medalist, if I'm not mistaken.
um, you know what? I think so. Tucker, they have some alumni. They do have some good alumni, and they have one that graduated this year who's headed to South Carolina. Tamara, I think she's a 400 hurdler. So, and they won state last year. This year, it was kind of a rebuilding year. So hopefully we could pull them together.
By the time her senior year comes around, you're back on the map. Well, it was great talking to you, Tisha Prather. Now Tisha Prather-Wiggons, if I'm correct. It's great talking to you. I got one more last question. How did the state of Tennessee get you out of Georgia?
You know what? It was the coaching. Coach Anderson, Vince Anderson, who is currently the coach assistant coach at Texas A&M, and we know they're all doing great now. Vince was just the nicest person, and I guess he's a recruiting genius. I don't know, but it was great.
So I have another question. Say your daughter, class of 15 maybe, 2016. Coach Anderson still maybe happen to be at Texas A&M. Are you going to make that phone call if she happens to be obviously one of the top athletes in the state of Georgia?
I most certainly will, but however, with Sierra, I've told her, go where your heart desires. I'm all for college education. I happened to end up at Tennessee. Loved it. Had a great time. Wouldn't trade it for the world. But she's gonna have to make her own decision. Vince is great. Of course, I'm gonna push. I will push Vince to her. But we'll see. I just hope and pray that she is as talented enough to get his attention and to get herself into a big school like that.
It's my pleasure talking to you. I enjoyed the conversation. I look forward to seeing your daughter. Hopefully she chooses track and field and find one of the disciplines within that sport to love and enjoy and to do her best. So wishful thinking. Nice talking to you. You take care.